Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start my video, I want to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the majesty and all powerful. And there is no doubt that the best of guidance is a speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Guru's Quran. And the best of practice that we can have is the action and the saying of Muhammad, upon whom be peace. This is a video that I wanted to do it since a really long time. But unfortunately I couldn't find time. There was one second problem. I couldn't do it. So finally, Alhamdulillah, Allah has enabled me to share this experience. This video is not more about the spiritual perspective, or you're gonna be scared in sleep, what you need to do, or so on and so forth. No, that video is not about that. This video is actually my personal life and my routine that I can share with you, and inshallah, there's a lesson in that and you can take benefit from it. Okay, before I'm going to start, what I usually do before I go to sleep, I will share something with you. My brothers and sisters, there are a few things that we have to understand from medical perspective, from psychological perspective, that it's better for us to understand them and we should study them as well. And there's a book that I can suggest. It's written by one of the American scientists or somebody. Not scientist, I think he's a psychologist. The name of the book is Why We Sleep. And if I can find some PDF link, inshallah, I will put them in a description as well as in comments. Go and read that book. There are a few tips I want to share with you, inshallah, that will help you. Number one, before you go to sleep, make sure that you don't take your phone with you. This has a huge impact because the lenses of your phone, it shows that it's still a day and you won't be able to get enough sleep. Number two, when you go to bed and you can't sleep, don't stay there. Just don't turn on Wi-Fi and go on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Don't do that. If you want to do that, you can come out and sit in the sofa or somewhere outside in the living room, but don't do that in the bed. Why? Because your brain will get the information and normalize itself with the bed, that it's like receiving the message that this is a place where I can be awake. It's not the place where I should sleep. So that's one. Number two, do not stay in the warm room. Even though, we live in a place that are very cool, but the room need to be warm, but still don't make it too warm. It's very easy. The brain need to relax, and it can't relax when the weather is really warm. So you have to make it the temperature at least a little bit cool, that you need a blanket to cover yourself. You will get good sleep. I know you have discovered this as well, that if the room is warm, you can't sleep properly. If the room is cool, you can sleep quickly and easily. That's good for your brain, and inshallah do that. That's something that I do, okay? And lastly, if you can't sleep, and you're thinking about left and right and opening account in the vision, you have a lot of things going in your mind, just don't stay in the bed. I would suggest come and read the Quran. That's too much for you, can't do that. Just offer 2 rakah salah. And inshallah, sit in the salah and make dua after the salah. Just sit and make some duas and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you and ask His help for your plans and things like that. And inshallah, you'll be able to sleep. So that's something, this is maybe you can consider as an opening. Now let me share with you what I do. This is something that I always do. Okay? What I do, and every night before I go to sleep. This is something I'm doing it since years now, and it helped me a lot. Number one, before I go to bed, I'm not going to go too much details, sharing the hadiths and the ayats from the Quran. I'm just going to share the routines of my personal life, and inshallah you can take some benefit from that. It will benefit you definitely. But if I'm going to share the details and each and everything, I think that will require much more time, and I'm sure you're not going to watch the video till the end, so I have to make it short. Number one, when I go to bed, the first thing I think before I go to sleep is, what have I done today? I don't care good or bad, but the question to myself is, what have I done? And I will go to the beginning of the day, like in the morning, the time I wake up. Okay, A, B, C, that's what you have done. Number two, then I will question again myself. Okay, which one is good, which one is bad? And then I will classify. This was good, this was bad. I'm not saying I'm not doing any bad thing. Of course, there are things that they are not really correct in my life. But I see them, okay, this was wrong. If I have spoken to someone harshly, or I prayed my salah late, I missed my salah. So I said this was wrong, and this is bad. So I classify, categorize good and bad. And I say, okay, this is good, alhamdulillah. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to improve me to do these good more. And also to facilitate me to, continue the good thing that I do. That's one. and I ask for improvement. I don't say it's enough, I've done enough. No, I ask for improvement more and more in that goodness. If it's a prayer, if it's helping somebody, giving charity, or whatever it is, even if I make a single video, or if I've smiled to someone, I ask Allah on each goodness, Ya Allah, improve me, and bless me with more. So here we have the category of bad that I have done in my day. The first thing is, there are few hobbies that we have that we cannot get rid of it. Some people have problem listening to music, watching movies, excessive game addiction. There are things we do, we don't have to deny that. Then the things that I, for example, I've done something, I spoke to someone harshly, I would say I regret it. The first thing I should do is to ask for forgiveness from Allah and apologize to the person. If that's hard, I will make sure that I don't do the same thing again. If the second day, same thing is happening, I will continue till I'm getting rid of that bad hobby or action that I'm doing, right? This is something I'm working on. If there's something, for example, addiction, somebody is smoking, watching movies, some people have the pornographic addiction, you should every day say, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to do it. If you're continuously doing it and every night you're saying, okay, I'm not going to do it, you're still doing it, then you do something else. If again I did this bad act, I will fast for 3 days. And trust me, shaitan doesn't want that to happen. He hates it. If you say I'm going to fast for 3 days, or I'm going to pray like 2 rakat sunnah prayer, or I'm going to wake up for tahajjud because I did something evil, trust me, tomorrow, the next day, he will remind you, don't do it because you have to fast for 3 days. So, I hope it's clear that I'm working on my part of myself that is not good, and I'm trying to reform myself and towards more goodness. So every night I question myself, what was good and what was bad. Number 1, I question. Number 2, I make plans. How should I overcome the bad hobbies that I have, and how should I transfer them towards goodness? The last question that I ask myself, what plans do I have for tomorrow? What plans do I have for tomorrow? And then I consciously, or you can say, I'm planning in my brain, okay, tomorrow I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then I look at it, what benefits me in the dunya as well as in akhirah. Why I have to make plans for every day? Number 1, it reminds me of the things that I need to do. Number 2, it keeps me focused. Number 3, maybe there are things in my mind that I consider them less important, but they're really important. For example, visiting my grandma. So when I make plans, I also remember my grandma, my mother, my parents. Oh, I have to call them, I have to meet them, I have to see them. Maybe they need help. So part of this, thinking, I also receive some messages, alhamdulillah, conscious messages that you have also these responsibilities, you should do it tomorrow. It's better to write them down in the beginning stages, but later you don't need to write them down. But it's okay, in the beginning you have to write them down. For the bad thing, if you have too much, again you write them down and make a plan how I can overcome them. There's going to be different video how we can overcome our bad hobbies and actions, how we can transfer them towards goodness. But a simple point is, the planning is very important. According to me, if a man has no goals, or he has no plan, what he is doing tomorrow, or what he should do after 10 years, and I personally believe that man is dead. For a person to be alive, he has to have plan. Because we human beings, we live with the hope, with plans, and with goals. If you don't have that, trust me, you will end up being depressed, sad, you're going to have anxiety, you're going to have a miserable life, even though you have everything perfect in your life. You might have a good car, good house, mashallah, good family, everything is perfect, but one thing is missing is what you're working on it. Of course, as a Muslim, we should plan something that is helping his dunya as well as akhirah. And of course, those are the plans. But if you're working as an engineer, it's good, alhamdulillah, supporting your family, that's helping in dunya as well as akhirah. You do not necessarily need to have a t-shirt and go on the street and give dawah, no. Whatever you're doing, those things are based on Islamic principles, mashallah, you're doing your best, alhamdulillah. So plans I make, okay, some plans I have for tomorrow, and some goals I have for future, and then tomorrow, of course, will be part of that goals that I have to fulfill, and it's helping me. I have practiced this, mashallah, the result is phenomenal for myself, and I believe if you implement them, you're going to have the result as well. The one thing I have to remind you, brothers and sisters, that before you sleep, after these things, you have to make excessive dua. Dua like, Ya Rabbi, forgive my sins and the sin of my parents, and grant me like righteous offsprings, children's, You can say what you're good at. Yusuf alayhi salam, he was good in managing and governing. He demanded, I want to be the governor of this affair, right? I want to be in charge of this affair. You have Sulaiman alayhi salam, he was good in something. He demanded that I'm good in this and give it to me. If you're bad in something, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you away from these things. For example, I always make dua, Ya Allah, do not leave me alone to myself even for a single second. And makes me hate what you hate and makes me love what you love. And the things that I'm good, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to improve me and enable me to help people more. And at the same time, support me and do not leave me alone. So this is my usual dua, and alhamdulillah, I have been successful in my life and I'm extremely happy. Even people say, what's the secret? You're always smiling, you're always happy, even though I had many tragedies in my life, but still, alhamdulillah, I'm smiling. The reason is I'm always focused and I'm always connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before I sleep. And even I wake up, I make the same dua and go out, do my works. There's a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we go to bed, malaika, they approach us. And you are there better, and you are there better. And I believe making dua, making supplications to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your language. You don't have to make it in Arabic. The language you know the best, make it in that language. And ask Allah to support you and help you and forgive you. And also maybe grant you the understanding of the Quran, the Sunnah, and make you implement the religion and choose you for the good work. And that's how you're going to end your night. And the day that morning you wake up, if you could wake up for Fajr, alhamdulillah. If you couldn't, I'm not saying no problem. There's a problem. But because you couldn't wake up Fajr, you still pray the Fajr. Don't just listen to shaitan, or it's late, I'm going to pray tomorrow. No. Just pray the Fajr and go out. If you can recite the Quran in the morning, alhamdulillah. But before you sleep, make sure that you recite the Quran. I don't know, I spoke too much, I believe. I share my life experience with you guys, and inshallah, I will try to make a second video, and I hope it help you. Simple. Ask yourself, what have you done? Classify the good and bad, and then work on that and make plans how you can overcome the bad ones. Number 3, and ask yourself, what's your plan for tomorrow? And inshallah, based on that, you can go and sleep and ask Allah subhanahu to support you and forgive you. That's my routine, and I've shared with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.